Today we're going to start with reviewing the Paritta chanting, Jaya-paritta, which many of you I'm sure memorized already. And part of this is it quotes a sutta, which we'll get to in a little bit, but let's start with reading the chanting. So first 3 lines until Jaya-mangalam. Jaya-viro, can I ask you to read it for us, please?
Jaya-viro's not here, unfortunately.
Titapemo?
Yes, of course. Mahā-kāruṇiko nato itayasa bapanina every puretava parami sabha pato sambodhim uttamam etena sachavajena otute Jaya-mangalam.
Thank you. Tell us, please, what you recognize.
Kāruṇiko.
Kāruṇiko, that's right. So that's about compassion.
Yeah, exactly. Maha, it's big, right? Something big, and Sabha is all, and I also recognize Parami Sabha as well.
So Parami is here. It's the perfections of virtue.
Exactly. But apart from that,
And in the refrain, Etena Sachavajena. Do you recognize this?
Nope.
So
yes, I heard a lot of time, but I don't. But I don't know.
All right. Let's start from the beginning, and we'll get there.
Okay.
So Mahā-kāruṇiko. So the great Karunik. So Karuna is the compassion. Mahā-kāruṇa would be great compassion, and the iko creates the person. So this is the great compassionate one. And Nato is a protector, in this case referring to the Buddha. So the Lord, the protector, our refuge, he is the Nato. And it's this nominative clause that we see all the time is that these are 2 nominative forms that qualify one another. So the protector, who is the great compassionate one, Hitaya Sabbapaninam. So Hita is a benefit, and Hitaya is a dative form. So for the purpose or for the benefit of who? Sabbapaninam, all the beings. You recognize this is from the breathing creatures. Pāli. So all for the benefit of all living creatures. Puretava parami sabba. So sabba here qualifies the parami. So all the perfections of virtue, puretava is having fulfilled or having completed or accomplished. So having completed all the paramis, patto here is from attained, so from patta as a past participle. So meaning here attained or reached. And patto is a nominative made from the past participle. And so again it refers back to the Nato. So the teacher who has attained Sangbodhing Uttamam. Bodhi you recognize is the enlightenment. Sangbodhing full awakening, complete enlightenment, which is Uttama, which is the highest. So the great compassionate one for the benefit of all living beings, having fulfilled all the perfections of virtue, having attained to the highest, attained the highest complete awakening, and by the utterance of this truth is how it's often translated. So Satya is truth, or something that is true. Vajja is how we translate this is
the speaking, the utterance.
Like that's right. Utterance, or this a statement. That's right. You recognize the ena is the instrumental form. Same ena in the end. So by the etena, by this true statement, by the utterance of this truth, hotu te Jaya-mangalang, to you, for you, is hotu is the imperative form, is may you be. So may you be something, or may, in this case, te is a plural, may they be, or may you be, may you have, in this case. Jaya is a victory, and Mangala is
auspicious.
An auspicious sign, a blessing. Something that is like a good omen, a victory, blessing, or good sign. May you have the good omens, may you have the blessing, may you have the good sign of victory. Like that, this is the first verse. Atanyu, do you have a Venerable Atanyu there?
No, he's on retreat, so also not here. We are only.
Titato, can you read us? Titato, can you read us the next two lines, please?
Yes, Ajahn. Jayanto Bodhya Mule Sakyanam Nandi Vaddano Evam Toang Vijayo Hohi Jayasu Jayamangale.
Thank you. What's familiar in this for you?
So Jayanto probably is the same as Jaya before, so it's some sort of victory or conquest as well.
That's right, and you recognize from the victory word, from the noun victory, it creates a nominative. So the victorious one.
Okay. So Bodhya probably comes from something related to Bodhi. And
connected. So what is Mula? Do you recognize Mula? Mule.
Rukamula Gatoa, so probably root.
That's right. So in this case, it's the root of the body. So that's so the root of at the root of the Bodhi tree, Bodhya Mule. So Mule is in the locative, and Bodhya of the root of the Bodhi tree.
So you say Mule is locative?
That's right. So that's right. Locative. So at the root of the Bodhi tree.
Okay.
Being victorious at the root of the Bodhi tree. Ajahn Gavisako, can you help us to complete this verse?
Sakyanam Nandivadhano. So for the Sakyas, for the Sakya clan, for the people of the Sakyas, or of the Sakhas, for the Sakhas. He is Nandivadano. He is the one who is growing, increasing. Vadhati is to grow, to increase. Nandi is delight. So growing, increasing the delight of the Sakyas, for the Sakyas. And Evang Tvang Vijayo Hohi. Thus, Hohi, may you be, or for you, this is an imperative, Hohi, may you be Vijayo. Vijaya is the victory. So may you have a victory in this way. Jaya Su Jaya Mangala. So I think that is from Jaya Asu Jaya Mangala.
So I try to think of how this as Asu would be joined here, and I think this is if you look at the vocabulary I put under here.
Yes.
What I found a similar sandhi is tayasu. Tayasu, where the su is like an exactly or just the same certain. So here I wouldn't break it down to asu, but to this idea that like exactly the same victory or the same sort of victory.
Yeah, something to do. Victory, be victorious at at the auspicious victory. Victorious auspiciousness. Yes. Anyway, it's a kind of these are very dense verses, and the grammar, because it's kind of more like poetry, the grammar doesn't always flow the normal way. Yeah.
The way I have the Vatmabjan chanting book here, and the way they translate these two phrases is that may you have the same sort of victory, and then after that may you win victory blessings, which is
okay.
Victory blessings, or may you win the blessings of victory. It's
okay.
More idiomatic in the Pāli verse than in the English. They you try to construct meaningful English sentences.
Yeah. I mean, this is full of this kind of. I think this is probably composed by the King Mongkut or someone. Must be a late Pāli composition. It's full of these kind of phrases that are more like definitely commentarial, like so. But some of these references, they are basically always referring to some events of the Buddha's life. So like this one, Aparajita Palanke Sise Pattavi Pokhare. So that's the Aparajita Palanka is the position or the seat, cross-legged, that is not defeated. So like when the Buddha was sitting under the Bodhi tree, attacked by the armies of Mara, then he was Aparajita, so not defeated. Parajika, the monk who is defeated. So this is Aparajita, the one who is not defeated. And
then Palanke here is like a locative absolute, so it means when in the cross-legged seated position, he is not defeated.
Yeah. Sise again at the head. I think here it refers like to the head of like at the top, being at the top of something, at the head of something, and of the earth. Pattavi is the earth, and then Pokhara is the blue water lily, the blue lotus. So I'm not sure how to translate it.
Pattavi is also world. So apart from being ground, it also can mean the world, and so I think that since this is poetry, it's more like it's comparing the world to a whole lotus, and the Buddha is sitting on this lotus, like he is at the head of this world lotus, and
that's like more likely. And then there is this word abhiseke, abhiseka, Abhisheka in Sanskrit this is to do with basically coronation of kings, and it's this act of like pouring the water over their head during the coronation, being anointed. Yeah, that's the word, anointed. As a Sabbabudhanam of all the Buddhas. So during the Abhisheka, or literally like the inauguration or anointment of all the Buddhas, this sort of refers probably to the fact of like when all the Buddhas became enlightened, but it's putting it in the language of being more like a world emperor. This is the later. This is very common in the later commentaries. They like portray the Buddha as some kind of a more like a king, universal king,
conqueror.
And then Aggapato Pamodati. This is easy. So Pamodati, he delights, and Aggapato is having achieved the highest, the top. Agga is the highest.
Like it's Aggapato, isn't it? So the highest.
The highest, the top.
Achieve the highest, and so he delights in achieving the highest. And the verse that you remember after this in the chanting is taken from this sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya. It has a short introduction, so we'll read that, and it's going to continue with the verse that you're familiar with. Titato, do you have anyone with you there?
No visible beings here.
I see. I see. Maybe the devas are listening.
Yes, not sure.
Can you read us these 3 lines, please, until Tesang Sattanam?
Yes, Ajahn. Ye bhikkhave satta pubban hasamayan majjan hikasamayan sayan hasamayan kayena sucharitan charanti vachaya sucharitan charanti manasa sucharitan charanti supubbanho Sīmānujāniko susayanho bhikkhave tesang sattanam.
Thank you. So in the sutta here, this is addressing the Buddhas. The Buddha is addressing the monks, and he's telling them that those, so we're talking about, so ye here is going to refer back at the end to Tesang Sattanam. So those beings who at the, and this is in the sutta, this is repeated 3 times. So I just contracted the phrases here. There's at the morning time, you recognize samaya. You recognize samaya as the time. And so at the morning time, at the time of midday, at the time of the evening, by body, kayena, sucharitang charanti. Sucharitang, how did we translate this?
Good conduct.
It's good conduct, that's right. So acts of good deed. Like conducts himself, charanti conducts himself with acts of suitable kinds, like good deeds. Good deeds he does or performs. But actually this is they, because these are the sattas, good deeds they do or perform. We're talking about the ye satta, So those beings who at the morning, midday, evening, they perform good deeds by body, so kayena, by speech, vachaya, by mind, mental good deeds they perform. So these beings, supupano sumajjaniko susayano, tesang sattanang. So this is for those, tesang is for them.
Yeah.
For them, for those beings here. So for those beings, there is, so recognize the su at the beginning of each of the phrases. So for those beings, it's a good morning, midday, and evening. And that's the paragraph. That's the paragraph introducing the verses, and then afterwards we have the gathas. Venerable Aditya, can you read us until Padakine?
Okay. Sunakatang sumangalang, supabhatang suhutitam, sukano sumuhuto cha, suyitang brahmacharisu, padakinang kayakamang, vachakamang padakinang manokamang, panidite padakina nikatawana, labantate padakine.
Thank you. So this is what you have all memorized already. So sunakatang, this is going back to just repeating what was there in the sutta. So this is a good, trying to find where.
Yeah, nakata is actually maybe it's not in the vocabulary, but it refers to the zodiac, the stars.
Yeah, that's right.
Good signs in the sky, basically.
You can see it in how the vocabulary breaks it down to nakata. Nakata is the zodiacal sign, but basically here means a good occasion, auspicious.
The point is being made that like people there were the Brahmins or whatever, they were telling people, this is a good time to do something, this is a good time to do some action in your life, and you have to look at the stars and wait for the lucky constellation to appear, and then you can do something. But the Buddha is saying, no, you can, if you act skillfully, then any time is good.
That's right. So it's auspicious, auspicious time, which is beneficial. Supabhatang, suhutitang, so that's like this is a good morning, a good rising.
Yeah.
Good dawn.
Good morning. Pabhata is from Pabhaseti, is like the shining of the sun, basically. So dawn. And Suhutita is Utahati, which means to rise up, to get up in the morning, So it's a good morning. Good rising, yeah.
Sukano is sukana. So kana is a moment, right? It's the time. So it's a good moment. It's a good moment, and it's a good. Yeah, sumuhutta is the same thing.
Same.
It's also a good time.
Good timing.
And a good moment and a good timing.
Yeah.
Suyitang brahmacharisu. So brahmacharisu for the spiritual practitioner. So this is the monk, referring to the monastics, for the monks. Well performed, well done. Or
yes, Suyitam, I think it refers to like making an offering to the
offered.
will offer. So the idea was, again, this is like playing with the Brahmanical concepts of like you have to make some ritual in the morning to maybe some ascetics. So he says this is like equivalent. If you do good, basically if you behave well in body, speech, and mind, then this is equivalent to making an offering to these spiritual seekers.
So well offered to the monastics. Charisu. This is dative Ajangavesako.
It's brahmachari singular and brahmachari plural, and then brahmachari su is like among the monastics. So literally, it
That's
would be,
right.
But you would offer something like I think this is the way you would put it in Pāli, is like among or.
So charisu, among. I see. Yes, plural. It's plural locative.
Yeah.
So it's not two. It's among. Brahmacharisu, among the monastics. The Padakkhina Kaya Kammang. This is again, Padakkhina is something that is lucky or auspicious.
Padakkhina literally means like the right, on the right side, like when you go, when you put your chivara, your rope on one shoulder, it says, Padakkhina, putting it over on one side, or you walk around the Buddha, Padakkhina Gatva, meanings keeping him to your right. So, but it has that meaning of auspicious. So, yeah,
like the correct way of doing it.
Yeah.
Or favorable, respectful.
Yeah.
So auspicious actions by body, actions by speech, actions by mind, well performed, respectfully and auspiciously. Panidi te Padakkhina. This is panidi, the aspiration, intention.
Yeah. It means, basically it's intention. Yeah.
So for them, the aspirations should be that they are auspicious. Padakkhina Nikatava, please.
I think the prayer might be for you. I'm not sure if it's here. Who it is addressed to? Yeah, Panidita Padakkhina. Yeah, and then Padakkhina Nikatavana, having done these auspicious acts, I guess.
So the Vatmabjan chanting book has your rightful aims are achieved.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
But that's actually, no, I think that's for the last line, I think.
For the next one. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. It will be for Labantate Padakkhine. That's right. So having made these auspicious intentions, aspirations, having performed Katavana, having performed good deeds, so Atta here is a purpose. Purpose or goal. You gained your goal, Labati. You gained your goals, which are also auspicious or rightful or suitable. And in the sutta, it ends with the chant that we recite separately on other occasions. Te attaladda sukita virula buddha sasane aroga sukita hota sahasabbehi ñātibi. This is also familiar to you. Ajahn Gavesako, can you walk us through it.
So they te ataladha, having gained their aim, or having, literally ladha is from labhati, having gained something, their goal, their aim, and being happy, sukhita, being happy, and then virulha buddhasasana is like prospering, growing in the Buddha's teaching. Buddha's teaching. Aroga sukhita hota is like hota is imperative, plural. So may you be free from disease and be happy. May you be happy. And then sahasabbehi nyatibhi, together with all relatives. Nyati is the word for, this is the plural, with sabbehi, with all relatives, nyati and nyatibhi. So that's why it's always chanted like at the after the Upasampada. Usually, this is what we chant. Yeah. So it's a kind of a blessing for may you prosper, grow.
It is free dance.
Yeah. It's these verses are basically it's not like normal prose, so it's a bit more difficult to decipher it.
Yeah, it's quite dense and flowery language, but now we know. Now we understand. So the next one will be about Sīmas. We'll read the passage where the Buddha is giving allowance to establish Sīmas. And Ajahn Gavesako has a PDF that you're probably familiar with. He's written this presentation about the types of Sīmas, their purpose, how they are established. This is a couple of years ago now. You can download it. The URL is also linked on the GitHub website. You'll find it. And we'll perhaps look at some pictures when it's relevant, but let's read the... So this is in the Mahā-vagga at the Sīmānujānana, where... Yes, let's read it from the beginning.
Yes. So maybe I start. Attako bhikkhunam etadahosi bhagavata panyatang ettavata samagi yavata ekavasoti kittavata nukho ekavaso hoti ti. So this is after the Buddha previously had allowed well, he was talking, it's about allowing the monks to gather for the Uposatha, right? And then he said, then the bhikkhus thought, or it occurred to them, for the bhikkhus, bhikkhunam, so that's to the bhikkhus, etat ahosi, so that means like etam plus ahosi becomes etat ahosi.
So this expression is literally this was. Like etam ahosi. Ahosi is aorist just was, and etang is this, and literally it just says it for those bhikkhus. This was, meaning this idea occurred in their head.
Yeah, exactly. They usually figure out some way of describing it in another language, but it's very simple in Pali. And now, of course, in Pali also there are no these quotation marks and any of this punctuation doesn't exist in Pali. So this is what we fill in, So sometimes sometimes there is even like doubtful readings of some passages. You don't know who is saying what or where does the quote begin. But here is quite clear. Bhagavata Panyatang, so by the Blessed One, Bhagavata, that's an instrumental, Panyatang, it was declared, or it was laid down. From Panyate, it means to when the Buddha makes some statement, like declaring something or allowing something. Ettavata samagi, to this extent, Ettavata means to this extent, there is unity. Remember the word samagi, like when the Sangha is gathered together and makes some decision together or recites the Patimokkha together, so it has to be united, and that's the word. So to this extent, there is unity. Yavata ekavasoti. To this extent, so it starts with etavata, and then the second half of the sentence is yavata. So those two are linked, etavata and yavata. So you start with how far, to what extent, to this extent. So to the extent of one residence, to the extent, or you could say as far as one residence. Eka avaso. So avasa was like the name for a monastery, basically, the most common name. Avas from vasati. Avasati is to live somewhere, to stay somewhere. So one resident, meaning. And now, how far? Kitavata nukho ikavaso. So they are asking them. So how far is there one monastery? Meaning, like to what extent? What does it mean? How large it is? Yeah. And then Bhagavato etamatang arochesum. So they told this matter, etang atang. They told this matter. Oh, they informed him to the Buddha. So they inform the Buddha. They always, something happens and they go and inform the Buddha. And then the Buddha says straight away, Anujanami bhikkhave simang sammanitung. Anujanami is the other word that the Buddha always says, I allow you. So this is when it says I allow you, but basically it's sort of like also like declaring, basically this is going to be the rule from now on, because
it's a phrase that makes something legal, because the Buddha has said it, and so it's
exactly.
an explicit allowance that makes something legal in the Vinaya, because you remember that the Buddha has said this. That's why I think this is significant formulation like that.
Mm-hmm. So Anujanami, exactly. I allow you to basically appoint a Sīma territory, boundary, a zone. Let's see, sammanitum. What's the best translation? Some authorize. Let's see, appoint, authorize. Yeah. So to authorize, let's call it a Sīma territory, boundary. Yeah. Right. I allow you to.
Sammanitum is to recognize. Tum is
infinitive.
Infinitive. That's right. And so sammanita, to appoint a Sīma.
Yeah, it's to samanati. So we will come across that later. Samanati is the verb. And now Sīma, of course, is feminine. So in the next sentence, you will see evan chapanabhikave samanita ba. So thus, because, evan, thus, and thus, because, and then it is Sīma, samanita ba. So it should be appointed, it should be authorized. The A is a long ending because it's feminine, but it's not repeated. The Sīma, yeah, exactly. Sīma samanita ba. The Sīma is to be appointed. And then pattamang nimitta kitteta ba. First, pattamang, first, the signs, nimittas, are to be mentioned or to be announced.
Announced.
Yeah. So first, the signs are to be announced. So that means the how do you recognize where the boundary is by certain signs or markers. We call it markers. And then they are spelled out. The allowable marker can be.
So we have.
Yeah, maybe you continue.
That's right. So there's mountain, Pabata. Just you look at the vocabulary there. there's mountains, Pasana rock, Vana is a forest, Ruka is a tree, Magga is a road, Vamika is an anthill. If you have an anthill, then it can be your marker. But this is usually, so this would be termite mounds or anthills that are quite permanent. And then Nadi is a river, Udaka is a water, meaning lake or some other body of water. Do you want us to look at your Sīmā paper for a second for nimitta markers?
They are even pictured there, I think, in the exactly on the next page. Exactly, here is in the Thai manual. They have these illustrated, very beautiful. In the old days, they had these nicely illustrated manuals on how to make Sīmās and other kind of Sangakama, and they had these nice drawings. This is a modern version, but so they actually would so you can picture, how you could delineate, how you could achieve this kind of the markers. So there might be a tree in one corner, then you could have like a small grove of trees, like the edge of a forest. That would be one marker, and you could say, okay, from that big tree, sometimes there's like a single tree growing in the middle of a field, so you could use that. It could be hundreds of years old, especially in a tropical country, these super big trees. Or there's like a clump of bamboo, that would be another one. Or there's like just a hill, or a mountain or hill, then you can take that between that. And then on the other side is just like a very specific kind of a rock. Can be, they say, any kind of rock bigger than what was it? It can be quite a small rock, but it shouldn't be smaller than like I can think of something like a half a meter maybe size, or even smaller, 30 centimeters big could be a rock. But if it's bigger than an elephant, then it's counted as a mountain, I think. And then there can be like a pond. Sometimes there's like just a small pond, so that could be like one corner of the Sīmā. Then there might be a stream, or you can follow along a whole stream. That would be the one side of the Sīmā. And there can be a road, some kind of a whole, again, bend in a road, or an entire road path, something that is regularly used by some vehicles or people, and that, and the anthill. Well, actually, even in the West, like in Norway, there are some anthills that are very permanent, they're very huge, and they stay for years. So, but the termite mound is bigger.
This anthill.
So you have
Formica.
be a boat. So this is water Sīmā here. Examples of using water to surround your territory.
But with water, you have to be careful with the water, the lake itself is not a Sīmā in itself, but it can be like a mark that you can use it to like delineate or mark one edge of your Sīmā, not all of them. So in this case, actually, you see that it's on an island, but actually there are also Sīmā stones on the island. So they would have made the Sīmā just within the ring of stones. This is in Sukhothai, and very beautiful.
There are the stone or the trees that are there?
No, here they obviously use those stones.
There's stone inside. Yeah.
There are these stones, so the Sīmā will be within those stones. But it was located on an island, so it was very obvious, like who is on the island, and so nobody can interfere.
They must remove also the bridge, right?
Yeah, then the bridge
during the Sangakama
would be that's sometimes done. No, that's actually in this case it wouldn't matter, because the Sīmā is actually just between the
Sīmā
stones.
is already inside. Then basically there is two Sīmā, the one them established and the natural Sīmā that is outside.
Well,
if you remove the bridge,
it's quite complicated, but it's it could be done like that. Okay, so that's the Sīmās. And then here you have a village Sīmā, and that is in case you don't establish the Sīmā using any markers, but there is like a default Sīmā. If you normally, monks would be living basically somewhere fairly near to a village, so that they can go on alms round every day. So then they would be dwelling, basically a village would be fairly simple to recognize. There would be a few houses, maybe some temple in the middle, or some fields, but basically that surrounding area, the vicinity, that's called the village, Sīmā, Gama Sīmā. So that in itself.
In Europe, you could use a parish boundary, for example, an already existing boundary for a parish community, and that those would have legal definitions. It would be recorded, and so it would be quite clear where those boundaries are.
Yeah, that's it. It's on maps. It's very obvious.
Shall we continue?
Yes.
So we talked about the different boundaries, and so having nimette kittetava, having announced the markers, vajattina bhikkhuna patilabhina sango ñāpetabo. So by a competent bhikkhu, patibalena sango ñāpetabo should be announced. Patibalena, what is this?
Patibala is like able, somebody who is like capable.
Right. So Bhayatta Patibalena is the same thing. So by an able and competent bhikkhu to the Sangha, he should announce, he should make it known. And so what's going to follow is the formula for Sangha Kamma, and it's useful. So these also always have the same repeated phrases. It's useful if you compare it to the Sangha Kamma, for example, that we recite for the Kathina. There's an announcement for the Sangha, Sunatume Sango. First, the issue is described, but we'll go through it in a second anyway. So let me see.
This was what I basically is basically when you give the robes.
When you give the robe, exactly. So the structure of all these Sangha Kamma is similar. So first, you first ask the Sangha to listen to you. Sunatume Bhante Sango, may the Sangha listen to me, and then you describe what is happening. So if it's a Kathina, then it says, well, this cloth has been given and whatever. In this case, we say the nimitta markers all around here have been announced. Yeah.
So first, this is
exactly.
this is one stock phrase here, and then this is describing that what the issue is, what the Sangha should hear you about. Yavata, to the extent of the markers has been announced.
Yeah, Samanta means like around here in this area, like the nimitta marker, the surrounding markers have been announced. So not first during the ceremony you have to point out and name each of the markers for the Sīmā boundary. So nimitta kittita, that means that they have been announced. And then yadisanga sapatakalam, that's always again stock phrase. If it is appropriate for the Sangha, or if the Sangha is ready, patakalam is like if to the Sangha it is acceptable. Patakalam means
Sangha here is a dative. So to the Sangha, something is acceptable.
Yeah. Then the Sangha ete hinimitehi Sīmāṃ samaneya. By these markers, through these markers, by these markers, it may appoint a Sīmā. It may appoint a boundary. Appoint a boundary. Samaneya is the optative. It means something can happen or might happen. And then the Sīmā is then described with two phrases. Samana sangvasam e kuposatang. So the Sīmā, the boundary, is for having a common sangvasa means communion in common or something. Samana Sangvata samana means being together or shared, let's say, shared communion. Shared communion. Samana means being together, but let's call it shared communion. Meaning being together, living together, coming together for Patimokkha, and ekuposatam, having a single uposatha. Having a single uposatha meaning that they are not broken up into factions. That means you come together for the same uposatha in the same place and the same time. And esanyati, this is the motion. Means like this is the proposal.
That's right. And so when we give the clause, you recognize the same formula, Sunatu me bhante sango. Then you describe what is going to happen. This katina clause has risen for the community. And then you ask, Yadi Sangha Sapatakalang. So if the Sangha finds it suitable, the Sangha, and then you again, what is going to happen, what may happen with Eya. The Sangha may give this Katina clause to some venerable Esanyati, and then the motion is concluded with this phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And we chant this with Tanchitalan, right?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. And then what follows, depending on the seriousness of the Sangha Kamma, it will be repeated. It's called the Anusavana, either one time or three times. So in this case, it's not so important or not so heavy. So it's just one time. So it says, so Sunatu me bhante sango again, may the Sangha listen to me. Again, the markers have been, as far as the markers all around have been mentioned, have been pointed. Then now the Sangha is doing something. The Sangha is, through these markers, appointing the boundary.
So previously, so recognize the forms is that previously it was Sammaneya. So the Sangha might appoint a boundary. And then he says that now we're going to do it. Now we're going to appoint.
But the rest of the phrase remains the same.
It's the same, exactly. So if you know a bit of Pali grammar, it can help you a lot in learning these Sangha Kammas because, you just change one word.
Basically, it's the verb, right?
Yeah, it's the verb. Samanati it is doing it now.
Okay.
And again,
present continues.
Yeah. and then it continues. Yassa ayasmato kamati. So yassa ayasmato kamati. That means for the venerable one who yassa ayasmato, like for the venerable one, it is actually in the singular, but it means the meaning is plural. But here it is yassa ayasmato kamati, like to whom it is pleasing, or kamati meaning to whom it is pleasing, to whom it agrees with him. You know, kamati means literally like to accept something, to tolerate something, but it's an extra meaning, to whom it is agreeable. And then it's repeated again, ete hinimite simaya sammuti. So by these markers, the appointment of the Sīmā. Simaya sammuti means like the appointment of the Sīmā, the appointment of the boundary. Sammuti.
The same root of Samma before, right?
Yes.
Sammanati.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the noun. Sammuti. It can be. There is two variations of this word. Either it's sammuti or it's sammati. There are two forms, sammuti or sammati, and it's the same word that is used for like conventional agreements, assumption. So it's often used in the Thai tradition, like pointing out that these things, many things are just agreements or something that people agree on. They are not real realities. Right? So to one who agrees, to whom this is agreeable, the appointment of the Sīmā for shared communion and a single upasata, so tunhasa. So that person should remain silent. So means he, that monk. Tunhi asa. Tunhi means silent. Asa, may remain. He should remain silent.
Do you think this is dative or genitive here? Of silence or in silence?
No. This is from asa. He may be silent.
He may be silent. Okay.
Yeah. So
this is
asa.
so let's spell it out. So this is tunhi, which is
it's the same of
tunhi, which is silent.
Silent,
and
yes.
Then asa is the optative of
to be, yeah.
Us. Maybe.
Yeah. He may be. He should be silent.
Should be.
And the opposite yasana kamati, to whom it doesn't is not agreeable. So bhasaya, he may speak.
Pāli.
Bhasati, to speak. Bhasaya, he may speak. If it's not agreeable, he may speak. And if you remember the Upasampada, this was repeated 3 times, not once, but 3 times. So you run through this 3 times, and during Upasampada, the most. So there's the motion and 3 announcements. Yeah.
Basically, if you need to repeat all the time, but you put Tutiyampi
That's
at
right.
the beginning, but the phrasing are the same.
It's the same. And then you come to the end where you say, okay, now it is done. The action is done. It's agreed. Sammata Sīmā Sanghena. So the Sīmā has been appointed, has been declared by the Sangha.
May I ask a thing? If, for instance, one change a word during this announcement, is a Sangha Kama ringing in the wrong way?
Yes, so there are...
Because the announcement must be the same, right?
Exactly. It must be the same, and you cannot also mix it up. You cannot first, that's mentioned in the Vinaya, you cannot first do the 3 announcements and then make the motion afterwards, or all these things would invalidate the Sangha Kama. It wouldn't be done properly, and it would be invalid. So you have to do it in this order, so people should know what's being said. So the boundary is declared by the Sangha, Sanghena, and etehi nimitehi, through these markers, by these markers, through these markers, using these markers. So it's not just any kind of boundary that you might think of, it's basically a specifically delineated area. And then you just declare kamati sanghasa, it is agreeable to the Sangha, therefore tasmatunhi, therefore it is silent, is agreed by the Sangha.
This is genitive, no? Agreed.
Kamati sanghasa, yeah, it's agreeable. It's
acceptable. No, acceptable to. So this
would
be dative.
Dative, yeah.
Pleasing, acceptable to the Sangha.
Therefore, it is silent, and thus this I remember.
So you say that this is acceptable to the Sangha, and you know this. That's why you're silent.
Yeah. Therefore, it is silent. The Sangha is silent.
And then you recognize that thus I consider it, thus I understand it.
Dharayami, Dharayami literally means I hold it. Yeah, I keep it in memory. I remember it literally. Because the dharati is to hold, to keep something, but in this case, meaning remember it as such.
Yeah. So these are the situations where you can deceive somebody by silent, by not saying anything. So if you really have an objection to these cases where your silence means something, then you should speak up.
Yeah, that's it.
And so to see this in the Katina Sangha Kamma, so this is the motion, then he repeats the same Sunatumi Bhante Sango. So similar phrase, Idang Sangasa Katina Dussang Upannang Sango Imang. So now here he says that the Sangha, this Katina cloth, to the Venerable Amaro gives it, deity, spreading the Katina. And then if so those venerables who are agreeing to this giving, they should be silent. So yes, Ayamato, so Tunhasa, they may remain silent. Those who are not Kamati, they should speak. So Baseya. And then ideally the announcer would be silent for a couple of seconds, and then if everybody is remaining silent, then you recognize that the decision has been done, and then you announce that this cloth is now given Dinnang. So from Dadeya would be given to deity, will give or is giving, to Dinnang has been given or is given. So this cloth is now given to the Venerable Amaro. The Sangha agrees, therefore it is silent, thus do I hold it. And then in the chapter where the story is given to us, we find the group of six monks are trying to come up with clever ideas, so they declare an enormous boundary. And so the boundary is, so that you don't have to worry about whether you're inside or outside the Sīma. So you declare a huge boundary, and the boundary is so large that when monks are coming to the Patimokkha, they have to sleep on the way.
Yeah, they can't make it. Basically, it's impractical.
That's right. And then so the Buddha limits he says that it's a dukkha to appoint to declare an excessively large territory, and the limit is set to 3 yojanas. And then
Which is
still
how much is that in kilometers? Sometimes yojana is taken to be 8 miles or 8 kilometers. I can't remember now.
It's 16 kilometers, 1 yojana. So
but there are many different. So it's not sure how long the yojana really was, but it could be as large as 16 kilometers. So they would be quite large. But I think it's like across from one corner to the other corner. So.
Your article is 16.
Yeah.
So that's still quite large, actually.
It is, yeah. But maybe you would be coming somewhere in the middle. Like usually the Uposatha, if monks were living, say, in several different villages, and they would come to one place, then it would be somewhere in the center.
Yeah. And then the next exception, the next loophole they found is that, or the next problem they create is that the territory includes a river. And so the monks who are coming from the other side, they have to swim across the river, and they are swept away.
Yeah.
And you can only include a river in your boundary if there is a permanent bridge or a boat that can always carry you across.
Yeah. So that's the situation in Chithurst, where we declared authorized the Sīma, including the whole forest, and there is a stream, which sometimes, if it's raining a lot, it really does flood, and it could carry you away. But there is a permanent bridge, in fact, two bridges. So, yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add here?
Yeah, I think that's it. There's actually a good picture in the PDF of this of the river, and yeah, there it is. That's on the right side is exactly how you kind of say. Imagine if there was some kind of boat that you could take to cross that stream, then that would work. Yeah.
So
And
the Sīma is on both sides of the river. River is going through, but if there's a permanent bridge, then that's okay.
Yes. And then you see then the whole Sīma situation has developed over the centuries, and then they came up with this idea of having a smaller, kind of broken off Sīma within a much larger Sīma, so they would be used for different purposes. But yeah, it's quite complex, and we can discuss it in the Vinaya lesson. This is the cat during the Sīma, the appointment of the Sīma in Chithurst in 1981, I think, yes, with an eminent Sri Lankan monk, Bhante Ananda Maitreya, who was the only one who knew how to do it at that time, because none of the monks, I think, coming fresh from Thailand, they didn't really know how to do these things. So he helped them to do it. It was quite a small Sīma. You notice the minimum, minimum you should fit 20 or 21 monks inside the Sīma. So you can just about cram 21 monks in there. And they used to have all the ordinations there in the summer always.
In that photo, there is Ajahn Sumedho.
Yes, this is 1981 in England. This was probably the very first Sīma made in England. I think before that there was no Sīma. Yeah. They ordained, actually, I think Ajahn Tanavoro, the Italian monk who then came to Italy, he was ordained before this, but he was ordained, if I remember correctly, on a boat on the River Thames.
This is what they say usually.
Because they didn't have a Sīma yet. And this is the other way you can, if you don't have a Sīma, you can go to a river or a lake, and then you can float something on the surface or even build something, but that's standing in the water. And then that all around that boat, if you can splash water all around there, exactly like that, then you can have a Sangha-kamma, you can have some. So they did the ordination like that. I think it was like a houseboat probably on the River Thames in London.